Back to the last segment of this Wednesday edition of Focal Point on AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Did a little bit of checking on the impeachment procedure, and it is as I had indicated. The House of Representatives must first pass by a simple majority articles of impeachment. That's what constitutes the formal allegation or allegations. Upon passage, then the defendant who has been impeached is tried by the Senate, and the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court presides over the proceedings. And if 2/3 of the Senate find the defendant guilty, then at that point he is removed from office. So that is the impeachment process. Let's grab a call from Fanny in Farmersville, Texas. Fanny, welcome. What's on your mind?
Oh, thank you. Well, what's on my mind is I am reminded every day when I listen to AFR that we are in a spiritual battle.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I first started listening to the radio station a couple years ago, I was angry and afraid. And I thought, well, what can I do? What does one person do? And slowly I became aware of AFR Action Alert, FA Action Alert. And so I started that, got it on my phone. Of course, I pray also. That's our first line of defense. But then we don't just lay down and do nothing. We act. And as a simple person, just one person, I can do that. I can get the FA alert and sign petitions and stuff like that. I also got involved with Facebook as far as putting links to a lot of the issues, the current issues. And that's one way to get the word out.
Mm-hmm.
It is one way for people to know what's going on. If they don't listen to any kind of Christian news, a lot of this stuff, they just have no idea that's going on. They don't know they can act. And that is one way that I started to act. And so I just encourage everybody, get in the fight. Get in the fight. It is a good fight to fight, and it's a winnable fight. Don't you say that all the time?
Absolutely. We are fighting a winnable war. Well, thank you, Fanny. I appreciate that. And that's a you know what Fanny's talking about, there's 3 simple steps. You know, number 1, we need to pray for revival. That's what we do at the beginning of this program every day. So you know that we ought to pray for revival, and a lot of people talk about it, but how many people actually do it? Well, that's what we do together. This entire listening audience, we gather around the throne of God, and we are praying for every man, woman, and child in the United States. We're praying for ourselves. We're praying for our president, as we are instructed to do. So what are we praying? We are praying for God to do his work in this entire country. That's a prayer for revival. So job 1, obviously we got to pray. When do we do it? Well, let's do that at the beginning of this program. Every day we are on the air. And so you can do that. You can be involved in prayer for revival every single day. Secondly, you need to be informed. That's what AFR Talk and Focal Point is all about, getting you the best information. I've said repeatedly, my goal is to make this the most informed, educated, literate, mobilized, and motivated listening audience in all of talk radio. So that's what we do 2 hours every day. And then the third thing that Fanny said, take action. That's where you sign up for the action alerts. We've got a great little app now. In fact, I got my action alert on my iPhone today while I was doing show prep. Just popped up the little alert, and there it is. So you can get the action alert right on your iPhone, or you can get it in your inbox, and you can take action. You can make your voice heard. Remember, this is how we held off the IRS for a year. It was you and me just taking action in response to an action alert, and we held off the mighty IRS. These are the people that are out there wreaking havoc all over the fruited plain. We held them off for an entire year. Let's grab a call from Mac in Albany, Georgia. Mac, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hello?
Hello, Mac. Go right ahead.
Hey, Brian, thank you for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
You know, I think I heard you say Al, or someone said Al Sharpton owes several dollars in taxes, and I imagine they can't bother him because they would say it'd be a race issue. And MSNBC has, you know, some, I think, gay homosexuals on their radio station, so they surely not going to knock it. You follow me?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
But anyway, I appreciate your program very much, and thank you.
Okay, all right. I appreciate the call. Thank you very much for that. Let's grab, you know, yesterday was Earth Day. Let's grab clips 5 and 6. Rob, I want to squeeze these in. I've got a whole stack of stuff on Earth Day. We're not going to be able to get to much of it. But, you know, a key part of what has surfaced in the discussion and the news stories over Earth Day is what's going to happen with the Keystone pipeline. And President Obama is putting this thing off. The State Department has 4 times. I mean, President Obama's original deal, we can't do it till the State Department does its fact-finding thing and tells us whether it's okay. Well, the State Department has done it. They've done it 4 times. President Obama still hasn't signed off on the Keystone Pipeline, and now he's saying we'll just need more time for public comment. So the reality is he just doesn't want to build, and he's stonewalling the thing. And so John Carl, ABC News, clip 5, presses in on Jay Carney, the president's spokesman, on this issue. Let's listen.
Obviously, there have been some Democrats who were, I guess, furious about this delay. Senator Begich Velasquez said, "I'm frankly appalled at the continued foot dragging." Mary Landrieu said, "This decision is irresponsible, unnecessary, and unacceptable." Heidi Heitkamp, Democrat of North Dakota, said it is absolutely ridiculous that this has been delayed yet again. Your response to these Democratic senators?
My response to any questions about this or statements about this is that it is a process run by the State Department, as has been the case in previous administrations of both parties. There was a decision by the Nebraska Supreme Court, not here in Washington, but by the Nebraska Supreme Court, that affects potentially the pipeline route. And the State Department that's running the process has made a decision about the impact of that decision on the process itself. So I would refer you to the State Department.
Can you refer these senators to the State Department?
I mean, those are just the facts, John.
So that's Jay Carney. I'll just refer you to the State Department. Well, the State Department 4 times has said go ahead. So it's obviously just kicking the can around the tree here. So John Carl, I mean, even the mainstream media now are sort of on to President Obama and this obvious delay here. You've got the Senator Begich. He's in trouble up in Alaska. He's got problems. Senator Landrieu from Louisiana, she's in trouble. She's got problems, so she's speaking out about this. Heidi Heitkamp, she's up there in South Dakota. I mean, it's going to impact directly their economy up there in South Dakota. So even the mainstream media now sort of exposing the Obama administration for how shallow their reasoning is here. Now, clip number 6, this is on the Morning Joe program. You got Mark Halperin and Mika Brzezinski, and they too are talking about this Keystone debacle. And Mark Halperin, and all of them agree, look, this whole thing is political. This is just political on the part of President Obama. And it turns out there's a big donor, a guy by the name of Tom Steyer, I think, Steyer. He wants to donate $100 million to Democrats. But he told Obama, I'm not going to give you a dime unless you stonewall the Keystone Pipeline, because he's a big, hardcore environmentalist. So this is just a pure and simple case of bribery. That's what this is. It's a $100 million bribe. I will give you, as an elected official, I will give you $100 million for you to make the political decision that I want you to make. That's just bribery. That's just corruption. It's just crony fascism. And so everybody on this Morning Joe panel, they agree. So here is Mark Halperin, Mika Brzezinski, Joe Scarborough bandying about this Keystone decision. Let's listen.
You leave the politics aside, as you said, just to go to jobs and the ability of the United States to do big things. I don't understand the delay.
There have been like 4 State Department reviews approving or opening the door for it to move forward. It's hard to defend.
So what I don't understand is just let's look at the politics of it, because this is all about politics.
Then that's easy to defend.
No, but I mean, but if you look at the politics, though, you're actually leaving the Democratic senators who have the biggest chance of losing and hanging them out to dry.
And labor unions and public opinion.
Right, labor unions, public opinions, because
it's wealthy donors.
Liberals, progressives
unless
who
the
are
decision
against it
hurts them.
They're not going to vote against Democratic senators and Congress.
The politics on the other side are wealthy donors who really don't want them to happen.
So it'll hurt. It'll hurt
mega gifts from, particularly Californians and others who want to give. I don't understand if they're doing it for the politics, as the White House occasionally points out, then it's not great politics. But there's no, if you're open to the project, if you look at these State Department reviews.
So what will the donor class do? I know Steyer wants to give $100 million, and will the donor class just keep their money in their pocket?
They'll keep their money, or they'll direct it towards, primaries. Really? I don't get what the president's posture is.
So they're saying, look, and he's referring there to Tom Steyer. That's what Scarborough is doing. This is one donor. This is bribery. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a classic definition of bribery. I will give you $100 million for a favorable political decision. That is corrupt, and it's nothing more than just blatant bribery. Let's finish with a call from Tellis in Brio Bridge, Louisiana. Welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
Hey, Brian.
Hey.
Thanks. Yeah, I just wanted to suggest that everyone call their governor's office and see if their governor is going to allow the federal government to disarm their National Guard, because it seems like the states are our next line of defense against what the federal government is coming against us. So I've called Bobby Jindal's office and haven't heard back yet. I'm sure I'll hear sooner or later, but I just want to know. People want to know what their governor's going to do, because he's commander-in-chief of their state, and if he allows the weapons to go, then what are we going to do?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, because they are the commanders-in-chief of their National Guard units, so I haven't heard. I think it's a great question to call your governor's office and find out what he's going to do when President Obama and the Army comes after their Apache helicopters. I mean, I'm not sure what their legal options are, but I think it would be good for governors to be pressed on this. We're looking down, the BLM's trying to do in Texas the same thing they did in Nevada, and the Attorney General down there, Greg Abbott, saying, hey, I'm going to go to the Red River and raise a come and take it flag to tell the feds to stay out of Texas. They want to take 90,000 acres of Texas land from Texas ranchers and farmers. Attorney General of Texas saying not so fast. That is how you do it. Well, do not forget to bow low before God, stand tall before man, stand in the gap, and never forget, ladies and gentlemen, with God's help, we're fighting a winnable war. See you tomorrow.